A lot of people have a weak low back, and there's one exercise that needs to be a part of your training program to strengthen your back up: the good morning.
Get up and get down, get up and get down.
Hey guys, today is all about the good morning exercise, and I'm going to show you a tutorial on 2 different techniques on how you can perform this to get the most out of your low back strengthening. This is how you perform a good morning if your goal is to not only stress your low back, but also hit your hamstrings and spinal column posture.
All right, for this version of the good morning, I'm going to put him in kind of an exaggerated position, make it really hard on him to engage again the hamstrings as well as the low back posture in his torso as well. We're going to do a high bar back squat position, so more on top of the traps as we went over earlier. Foot position is going to be what you typically use for your Olympic lifts, if we're using this for Olympic lifting specifically. Now, when he leans forward, one thing that's very easy to do is shift to the heels, right? For this specific version, we want to stay off the heels. Go ahead and stand up. I want him to keep his feet centered, so as much pressure in the toes as on the heels. And a lot of times, athletes are going to have to feel like they're too far forward to learn to get this center position. Also, we want to make sure that his knees don't bend too much, so we're going to maintain only a very slight amount of bend in the knee. Try to shift a little bit further forward, lean a little bit further forward, keep those hips from going back too much. So this position here, go ahead and go back down and hold. You can see the pressure in his toes. You can see the bar is forward of his midfoot, way forward of midfoot. Go ahead and go back down. Slight bend of the knee, and that's going to make it really hard on the hamstrings and low back. You're going to have to work really hard to keep that back flat and solid. So this is the exaggerated position. Good morning.
Here's how you perform a good morning if your emphasis is not only low back, but also adductors and glutes.
So what we're gonna do now is he's gonna carry the bar where I taught him the low bar squat in another video, so make sure you check that out. He's gonna keep this pinched, and by carrying the bar a little lower, we're gonna de-emphasize the spinal column just a tick. We're gonna widen his feet up to a little bit more of a wider sumo position. So this is much wider than he would do any Olympic lift or clean or snatch, a little bit more of a sumo style. This is gonna emphasize the glutes a little bit more than the vertebral column and the hamstrings. So he's gonna keep his head a little higher, and instead of thinking about leaning over further forward and accentuating that, he's gonna think about kicking his ass back and keeping it as straight as he can. Yeah, he's gonna come up. Now, because he's in a wider position, his adductors are gonna get hit harder, and he's gonna be able to focus more on his glutes because the bar is carried a little bit lower down his back. This is a stronger position than the Olympic lifting coach showed, but it's also very potent. Remember that doing an exercise the exact same way all the time is the enemy unless it's technical proficiency. With accessory exercises like this, you want to try to find weak links, and you want to try to get stronger in multiple areas.
Hi there. What I would like to know is, in what fucking universe are good mornings a thing? How the hell do you add weight to your upper body and just hinge and not have your lumbar go, fuck you?
So as we discussed, the good morning is a hip hinge. This means the glutes, hamstrings, and adductors, depending on how wide your stance is, are creating movement about the hips, while the muscles of your low back, like your erectors, are working isometrically, meaning they don't change in length much. The back muscles, therefore, act to stiffen the spine and limit spine movement. Those who usually feel their low back working really hard or have pain there when doing good mornings usually aren't moving optimally about the hips and are therefore allowing their low back to move too much. So in order to fix this, we need to do 2 things. Learn proper breathing and bracing to stabilize the spine, and how to hinge. The sandwich drill is how you learn proper breathing and bracing. Clasp your hands around your stomach and breathe in a way that expands your core laterally, pushes your hands away. This is how you should breathe before every rep you perform when lifting. You're then going to expand and stiffen your core by bracing your ab muscles like you're about to get punched in the stomach. You'll feel your ab muscles tighten down. If you need help performing a hip hinge, grab a foam roller and trap it against your thighs. Keep pressure against it as you push it down your legs and push your butt back. Pushing a roller into your thighs will engage your core and stiffen your trunk to help you maintain this desired neutral spine posture. In the bottom position, you should feel your hamstrings and your glutes tightening as the muscle fibers lengthen under tension. The hinge motion will be the exact same as your good morning movement. The only thing that changes now is that you'll be holding the bar on your back. Again, stiffen your core in the standing position, push your butt back as you lean forward, making sure to focus the movement about your hips. This will strengthen your low back to isometrically hold the back in place and eliminate a big cause of back pain when performing them.
All right, guys, that's it for today's good morning tutorial on how you can use that to strengthen your low back by moving about your hips and keeping your core tight. Be sure to go and follow Matt and Chad on Instagram and YouTube. I'm gonna link their different pages in the show notes below. And until next time, guys, happy good morning.
They say that energy flows where attention goes, so I pay no mind. Why waste my time with all these negative cats scratching? So caught up in their egos, these people have lost.